don't have to study. You don't have to study. Let's just talk.
I can't.
Why?
Because it is exhausting. Dating you is like dating a stairmaster.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the worst movie boyfriends who did their partners dirty. This list requires a spoiler alert since some boyfriends wait until the plot twist to show their true colors, so consider this your warning.
You will honor me the way a wife is required to honor a husband, because I will not be made out of food, Rose.
Number 20. Christian, Midsommar. Most of the scares in this Ari Aster folk horror tale involve the strange and deadly practices of a cult in rural Sweden. But a lot of the strongest emotions we feel come from the protagonist's thoughtless and emotionally manipulative boyfriend.
I'm not trying to attack you.
It
I'm not.
really feels like you are.
Well then I'm sorry. I just got confused. I'm sorry. Hey, please, come on. Can you come and sit with me, please?
Christian has obviously wanted out of their relationship for a long time, but because of how much Danny relies on him for emotional support, he keeps delaying the inevitable. The mounting resentment, stringing along, and disconnect amounts to Christian becoming a terrible partner point blank.
Why would Simon leave without her?
I'm sure it was just a miscommunication.
From a certain angle, getting caught up in the deadly rituals of a cult is probably the best thing that could have happened for this relationship. Number 19. Patrick Bateman, American Psycho. It's kinda easy to forget and hard to imagine that the resident Wall Street sociopath at the center of this cult horror classic is engaged for most of the movie. His fiancée Evelyn is depicted as a vacuous and aloof person, but she's just as obsessed with keeping up appearances as Patrick is.
I don't think we should see each other anymore.
But your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. I really don't think it would work.
To be fair, neither of them is an excellent partner, but Patrick seems to find it a nuisance to give her the time of day. Even outside of the whole murderous fantasy thing he's got going on, Bateman's a terrible date and an even worse significant other.
I'm in touch with humanity. Evelyn, I'm sorry. You're not terribly important to me.
Number 18. Ted, Bridesmaids. Annie is definitely more invested in her on-again, off-again hookups with Ted than she should be. Even though he keeps treating her like she's less than, and despite her best friend's advice, she continues to go back to him.
You're a total catch, and any guy would be psyched to be your man. You should just make room for somebody who's nice to you. And
Ted's the kind of guy who actively seeks out women with low self-esteem. It's the only way he can get away with being so obnoxious and straight up mean. In the end, Annie would rather be dropped off on the side of the road than be in a car with him any longer, and we cannot blame her.
If you're trying to turn me on, it's working. You used me. No big deal. You are no longer my number 3.
Number 17. Edward Cullen, The Twilight Saga. He's the world's most dangerous predator. He's also kind of the worst. Twilight is many things, but a textbook on healthy relationships it is not. Sparkly-skinned vampire Edward Cullen's supernatural abilities cannot save him from the worst boyfriend quality of all: terrible communication skills.
Why did you hate me so much when we met?
I did. Only for making me want you so badly. I still don't know if I can control myself.
He is intentionally hard to read while expecting Bella Swan to conform to him, until he changes his mind and doesn't want her around. Edward spends most of the series invading Bella's privacy, making decisions for her, and manipulating her when it suits him. And it's all under the guise of protecting her.
I'm coming.
Bella, I don't want you to come.
Number 16. Gideon Graves, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. You can't help who you fall in love with. You also can't help when that person has a long history of troubling exes. In this video game-style storyline, Scott falls for the ultra-cool Ramona Flowers, only to discover that he has to defeat all her old significant others in order to date her. The biggest, baddest ex of all is Gideon Graves, a record executive whose slimy, fake politeness makes him even more disturbing in retrospect.
Wait. There's no use crying over spilled Coke, buddy. The lady made her choice, and we're all just gonna have to move on.
As it turns out, Gideon has literally planted a mind control device in Ramona's brain. Explaining away his evil with the excuse that he was in a really dark place is hauntingly familiar to anyone with a toxic ex.
The whole League of Evil Exes thing, I was in a really dark place when I put that together, so forgiven?
All right, let's go!
Number 15. Oren Scrivello, Little Shop of Horrors. This is the kind of guy who never grew out of burning ants with magnifying glasses. Now he inflicts pain in his daily life as a dentist, and in his off hours as the hateful boyfriend to his unbearably sweet girlfriend.
Somebody talking to you?
Oh no. Excuse me.
Excuse me, what?
Excuse me, doctor.
That's better.
His cruelty doesn't seem to have any real motivation. He simply likes it. He makes no effort to even try to pretend to be anything other than the jerk he is. Feeding someone to an alien plant that has a taste for human flesh is totally uncool. But when it's a guy as rotten as Dr. Oren Scrivello, you can understand the impulse.
Chop it up.
What?
Feed me!
Number 14. Jake Ryan, 16 Candles. 1984 was a different time. Jake Ryan is supposed to be the dreamy, popular guy. From the beginning of the movie, however, we get some alarm bells ringing. Namely, when he asks his friend about Sam, even though he's very much in a relationship with a girl named Carolyn.
She looks at me like she's in love with me.
Jake, she's a child.
So?
So what are you gonna do with her? She's obviously too young to party serious.
The worst of it happens when he has Ted take Carolyn home, framing it as a sort of favor to Ted since she's unconscious. The way they talk about her is pretty horrific, and it instantly negates any of Jake's more attractive qualities.
I could violate her 10 different ways if I wanted to.
What are you waiting for?
I don't know. She's beautiful and she's built and all that. I'm just not interested anymore.
Number 13. Warner Huntington III, Legally Blonde. Elle Woods imagined that she would be the trophy wife of a senator. Instead, her boyfriend dropped her because she wasn't serious enough.
I thought you were proposing.
Proposing? Elle? If I'm gonna be a senator, well, I need to marry a Jackie, not a Marilyn.
Not only does he dump her in the most public way imaginable, Warner also spends most of the movie telling her in big ways and small that she's dim. We can only imagine what he was like when they were together.
Come on, you're never gonna get the grades to qualify for one of those spots. You're not smart enough, sweetie.
If he weren't such a pathetic guy, though, it wouldn't be half as fun watching Elle outpace him in law school. She quickly outgrows him, making the moment he crawls back to her and gets shut down that much more sweet.
I've waited so long to hear you say that. But if I'm going to be a partner in a law firm by the time I'm 30, I need a boyfriend who's not such a complete bonehead.
Number 12. Bill. Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2. Quentin Tarantino's bloody revenge saga is so messy it's spread over 2 movies. While we don't really meet the character until the second movie, let's just say his presence looms large.
I am gonna kill Bill.
Uma Thurman's The Bride once worked for her deadly boyfriend Bill, the ringleader of a troupe of assassins. Bill is mysterious, deeply cruel, and disturbingly emotionless.
Now, if you don't settle down, I'm gonna have to put one in your kneecap. And I hear tell that's a very painful place to get shot in.
When the bride leaves him, he reacts about as badly as any terrible boyfriend could. We're not expecting an assassin to be warm and cuddly. Still, if your ex spends 2 whole movies trying to kill you and everyone associated with you, you've definitely earned a spot on a worst boyfriends list.
You and I have unfinished business.
Baby, you ain't kidding.
Number 11. James Jimmy Angelov, Practical Magic. This film centers on Sally and Jillian, 2 witches cursed to watch the men who love them die untimely deaths. It also gave the world one hell of a bad boyfriend. Jimmy is an abusive serial killer with a penchant for drinking, smoking, and generally being an ass.
You know, girls, I'm feeling very into sisters right now.
The worst part about this boyfriend is that he is near impossible to get rid of, even for a couple of witches. Jimmy may be loaded with bad boy swagger, but the allure quickly begins to fade once he reveals his true self to Jillian. You know you're a horrible person when your witch girlfriend needs to kill you multiple times.
You really should stop smoking so much, Jillian.
Why? I'm probably gonna get life. I should smoke 2 at once. It'll shorten the sentence.
Number 10. Andy, Wet Hot American Summer. Most of the boyfriends on this list invoke rage, hatred, and occasionally violence, but not Andy. As a counselor at Camp Firewood, he lackadaisically goes about his duties while openly cheating on his girlfriend Katie.
God damn it, Katie, you're suffocating me. I'm choking, all right? Give me some breathing room.
Well, I just want to spend some time with you, you know? It's our last day at camp.
My butt itches.
It's hard to hate Andy because of how hilarious he is, but that doesn't change the fact that he is a horrible boyfriend. From his constant womanizing to the way he softens up the moment so he can get in a girl's pants, Andy is a true dirtbag.
Tastes like a burger. I don't like you anymore.
Oh, and did we mention that he straight up throws a kid out of a moving car to keep him quiet? Yeah, not exactly husband material.
Katie, are you gonna pound this into my face all day?
Sorry.
Apology accepted.
Number 9. Daniel Cleaver, Bridget Jones's diary. After overhearing some nasty remarks about her lifestyle, Bridget Jones starts a diary with the intention of improving herself and finding love. The man who quickly draws her attention is her boss Daniel. If only she knew his true character beforehand, though. What makes Daniel a bad boyfriend is his uncontrollable womanizing.
This is Lara from the New York office. Lara, this is Bridget.
Hey there.
He simply can't help but chase every woman he sees. His arrogant, misogynistic nature aside, Daniel is also a liar and a bad friend, having slept with his best friend's wife, leading to the demise of their relationship. We admire Bridget's resolve, but shake our heads at her romantic decisions.
That's not a good enough offer for me. I'm not willing to gamble my whole life on someone who's, well, not quite sure.
Number 8. Glen Gulia, the wedding singer. Wedding singer Robbie Hart thinks he's finally found the girl of his dreams. Unfortunately for him, she is engaged to one of the worst boyfriends in cinematic history, Glen. Glen is a douche. There, we said it.
Stop all this cheating shit, moron. She's a good girl.
Hey, asswipe. Don't go snitching to Julia about this. I know you got some little crush on her, but you gotta face the facts. She'd rather go to bed with a real man, not some poor singing orphan.
Sure, he's handsome and drives a nice car, but that doesn't make up for the fact that he is a lying, manipulating cheater who doesn't deserve his girlfriend Julia. The only thing he ever has on his mind is physical intimacy, and it ultimately leads to his demise, metaphorically speaking.
You better get out of my way, Billy. You're gonna get hurt.
Oh, yeah? Don't you talk to Billy Idol that way.
Number 7. Jim, Edward Scissorhands. Despite his intimidating appearance, Edward Scissorhands is sweet, innocent, and always tries to do the right thing. His romantic rival Jim is anything but. He is a greasy-haired jock who uses fear and intimidation to bend others to his will.
First, take me to her house.
Oh, come on, Jim. Don't make me drive.
Just do it.
Jesus. Maybe she was right about you.
Just drive!
The worst part about Jim is his reluctance to give Edward a chance. He breaks the golden rule of not judging a book by its cover, choosing instead to manipulate Edward in an attempt to get him locked up by the police. However, what really makes Jim a bad boyfriend is the violent, jealous rage he flies into whenever his girlfriend Kim shows any affection towards Edward.
Stay away from her, okay? I mean it. You can't touch anything without destroying it. Who the hell do you think you're even hanging around here anyway, huh?
Ultimately, Jim gets what's coming to him. Number 6. Pat Healey, There's Something About Mary. What's the word we're looking for here? Slimy? Yeah, slimy. Pat Healey is one slimy character. Years after an embarrassing incident cut his prom night short, Ted Stroman hires a private detective to track down his date Mary. Unfortunately for Ted, that detective is Pat Healey. Within moments of seeing her, Pat too falls for Mary.
You asked me to follow around your girl, and I did. And then the truth is, I started to like her.
What follows is a series of dastardly ploys put on by the lying detective in an attempt to win her heart. From his creepy, thin mustache to his misguided mental state, Pat Healey is a weirdo inside and out.
Oh, forget it.
What?
No, it's stupid.
Come on, you can say it.
No, really, it's moronic.
Just say it.
Can I feel your bosoms before I go?
Number 5. Sack Lodge, Wedding Crashers.
Big tree fall hard, right?
How many fingers I got up? Come on, Pepe, how many fingers I got up? Oh, come on, I got 4. I go, here's 5. Man down!
It's incredible to think that Bradley Cooper is now one of the most beloved and sought-after actors in Hollywood. It wasn't too long ago that he played the jerky fiancé in this classic comedy. Whether Sack is taking touch football way too seriously, shooting men with a rifle, or generally treating his fiancée Claire like garbage, he is one seriously messed up boyfriend.
Hey, you want to help me out? Do you? Do you, kid? Why don't you go get me a 7-Up, okay? All right, because I think I might get vulnerable again.
It was thus all the more satisfying to see him crouched over a toilet seat in agony after being poisoned by his romantic rival John, and getting punched out by John's best friend Jeremy. Number 4. Caledon Cal Hockley, Titanic. When Cal boarded the Titanic, his life was looking pretty good. He was rich, handsome, and all set to marry the beautiful Rose. Unfortunately for him, Jack Dawson had other plans. The evilness of a particular bad boyfriend is usually reflected in the complete opposite nature of his competition.
Surely you remember Mr. Dawson?
Dawson. That's amazing. But you could almost pass for a gentleman.
Almost.
We know Cal is bad because Jack is so darn good. When Rose is within 10 feet of her fiancé, it's an absolute cringe fest. He's an arrogant snob who undermines anyone whom he deems inferior to himself.
There's no arrangement, is there?
All right. No, there is.
Even.
Not that you'll benefit much from it.
And even away.
I always win, Jack.
The breaking point for this bad boyfriend is when he tries to shoot Jack as he flees with Rose. That is a big no-no. Number 3. Jason J.D. Dean, Heathers. Every high school has that one group of girls. You know the ones. Popular, attractive, with amazing fashion sense. Well, in this cult classic, Veronica and her rebellious new boyfriend JD get sick and tired of their school's clique and decide to do something about it. However, his idea of killing them turns out to be a little too much for her to handle.
Your true feelings were too gross and icky for you to face.
I did not want them dead.
JD ends up being just a little bit of a, murderous psychopath. He may come off all cool and laissez-faire, but in reality, JD is straight up crazy. Veronica might want to choose a little more wisely next time she's looking for a boyfriend.
People are gonna look at the ashes of Westerberg and say, now there is a school that self-destructed not because society didn't care, but because the school was society.
Number 2, David McCall, Fear. In the pantheon of bad boyfriends, this one is up there with the worst of them. After meeting Nicole at a rave, David McCall becomes dangerously obsessed with her. While they date at first, David's increasingly horrifying behavior leads her to dump him, with deadly consequences.
What? Come on.
Go away! Away from me!
Mark Wahlberg goes full on for this film. From killing Nicole's dog to murdering one of her friends, David is what you would call troubled. He is violent, obsessive, and lacking any sort of moral backbone. If that doesn't constitute a bad boyfriend, we don't know what does.
It's not our fault. It's his. I tried so hard to be nice, to get him to accept me. Can't you see all he wants is for you to be his little girl forever?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Billy Loomis, Scream. The thing about horror movie obsessed Billy is that even if you haven't seen the last half hour of Scream, you'd still have plenty of reasons to question his BF credentials. His girlfriend Sydney is still struggling with her mother's murder. Of course, his concern is that her libido has been low since the tragedy.
Since your mother died.
Is your brain leaking? My mom was killed. I can't believe you're bringing this up.
I know, it's been a year.
Tomorrow. 1 year tomorrow.
I know what, I think it's time you got over that.
Maybe these things could be talked through. But Billy turning out to be one of the killers who upended Sydney's life and slaughtered all of their friends puts the final nail in the coffin. Billy is a terrible boyfriend and an even worse human being.
I don't really believe in motive, Sid. I mean, did Norman Bates have a motive?
No.
Did they ever really decide why Hannibal Lecter liked to eat people? Don't think so. You see, it's a lot scarier when there's no motive, Sid.
Which of these boyfriends made you rather stay single? Tell us in the comments.
Jennifer, this is Jill, my other girlfriend. I think we can make this work.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.